Picture this. You're settling into your favorite recliner after dinner. Maybe the same one you've had since the Reagan years. As you reach for the remote, you notice something that stops you cold. Getting up from that chair, the same movement you've done thousands of times, now requires a little push with your hands. When did that happen? If you're nodding along from your kitchen table or living room right now, you're not alone. That subtle change isn't just about getting older. It's about something called sarcopenia, and it affects nearly 40% of adults over 65. But here's what your doctor might not have told you yet. The solution isn't necessarily found in expensive supplements or complicated exercise routines. It might be sitting right there in your refrigerator, wrapped in familiar packaging. I'm talking about cheese, but not just any cheese. 3 specific varieties that recent research shows can actually help rebuild the muscle you thought was gone for good. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cheese, isn't that supposed to be bad for you? That's what we were told for decades, wasn't it? Just like we were told eggs would give us heart attacks and butter was the enemy. Turns out, when it comes to fighting muscle loss after 60, certain cheeses are actually nutritional powerhouses. They contain the exact combination of proteins and nutrients your aging muscles crave. Studies involving thousands of seniors have shown remarkable results. We're talking about people regaining strength they hadn't felt in years. Some participants could climb stairs without holding the railing for the first time in decades. Others found themselves carrying groceries with ease, just like they did back when Ed Sullivan was on Sunday nights. Today, I'm going to share the scientific secrets behind these 3 remarkable cheeses. More importantly, I'll show you exactly how to use them to start rebuilding your muscle strength, starting as soon as tomorrow morning. Whether you're enjoying this from your favorite spot in the living room, at your kitchen table, or wherever you like to learn something new, I'd love to know. What room of your house do you spend the most time in these days? Your answer might surprise you, and it definitely matters for what we're about to discuss. Let me explain what's really happening in your muscles as you age, using a comparison that might remind you of Bob Fella's old home improvement shows. Think of your muscles like a house that's constantly under renovation. Every single day, your body is both tearing down old, worn-out muscle fibers and building new ones to replace them. When you were younger, your body's construction crew was like those enthusiastic workers you'd see on This Old House. They worked fast, they worked efficiently, and they always built back stronger than before. But somewhere after 50, something changes. Your construction crew doesn't retire exactly, but they start working at a different pace. They still tear down the old muscle fibers. That part never stops. But the rebuilding process, that starts slowing down, like a work crew that's lost some of its motivation. Scientists call this age-related muscle loss sarcopenia, from Greek words meaning flesh poverty. By age 65, most of us are losing about 1 to 2% of our muscle mass every year. That might not sound like much, but it adds up faster than compound interest on an old savings account. Here's where those 3 special cheeses come into the picture. They contain something called complete proteins. Think of them as premium building materials for your muscle construction crew. But not just any building materials. These proteins contain all the essential amino acids your body needs, including one particularly important one called leucine. If regular amino acids are like standard lumber, leucine is like the foreman's whistle. It's the signal that tells your muscle-building crew to get back to work with the same enthusiasm they had when you were watching leucine reruns in your 20s. The problem is, as we age, our bodies become a bit hard of hearing. We need a louder whistle, more leucine, to get that construction crew motivated. Young people might need just a gentle tap on the shoulder, but after 60, we need something more like the maraca rattle of pills in a medicine bottle. Impossible to ignore. That's exactly what these 3 cheeses provide. They deliver leucine in concentrations high enough to wake up even the most stubborn muscle-building processes. Recent studies from major universities have shown that seniors who included these specific cheeses in their daily routine didn't just slow down muscle loss, they actually reversed it. We're talking about measurable gains in muscle mass and strength, even in people who are already dealing with significant sarcopenia. Now, you might be wondering why this matters so much, specifically for our generation. After all, our parents seem to manage just fine without worrying about muscle-building cheeses. But here's the thing, our parents' generation lived in a completely different world. Back when your parents were our age, daily life itself was a workout. Think about it. No riding mowers, no electric can openers, no remote controls. People walked more, lifted more, and moved more just to get through an ordinary day. Your mother probably kneaded bread by hand, hung laundry on a line, and cleaned house without a single power tool. Your father might have worked with his hands, walked to the corner store, and fixed everything himself. All of that daily activity was like having a personal trainer built into everyday life. We, on the other hand, live in the age of convenience. We can shop online, control our TVs with voice commands, and have meals delivered to our door. It's wonderful for comfort, but it means our muscles don't get the same natural workout our parents' generation received. Add to that the fact that we're living longer than any generation in history, and suddenly maintaining muscle mass becomes crucial for independence. The difference between being able to live in your own home at 85 versus needing assistance often comes down to muscle strength. Can you get up from a chair without using your arms? Can you carry a bag of groceries? Can you climb stairs without getting winded? These aren't just quality of life issues, they're independence issues. And that's exactly why these three cheeses matter so much. They give us a scientifically backed way to fight against what modern life and longevity have made more challenging. Before I reveal these three muscle-building champions, I'd love to have you join our community of seniors who are taking charge of their health and strength. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Think of it as joining a neighborhood of friends who share tips over the back fence. And give this video a thumbs up if you're finding this information helpful. I'm curious now, V, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to maintaining your strength these days? Is it getting up from low chairs, carrying things, or maybe just having the energy for activities you love? Share in the comments below, because your experiences help everyone in our community learn and feel less alone. Now let's dive into these three remarkable cheeses that could change everything. Number 3. Ricotta cheese, the fast responder. Let's start with ricotta, a cheese with a secret that makes it unique among all cheeses. Ricotta contains whey protein, which your body can absorb in as little as 30 minutes. Think of it this way: if you've just finished watering your garden or taking a walk around the block, your muscles are like dry soil after rain. They're ready and waiting to absorb nutrients. Ricotta delivers those nutrients faster than any other cheese. The whey protein in ricotta contains what scientists call branched-chain amino acids. These special building blocks don't even need to stop at your liver first. They go directly to your muscles. It's like having a direct phone line to your muscle-building crew. A half cup of ricotta gives you about 14 grams of protein, but with a completely different amino acid profile than cottage cheese. This means using both ricotta and cottage cheese is like having two different sets of tools for the same job. Ricotta is also naturally lower in sodium than most cheeses, which matters if you're watching your blood pressure like many of us are. The smooth, creamy texture makes it incredibly versatile. You can spread it on toast with a drizzle of honey for breakfast, mix it with herbs for a protein-rich dip at lunch, or stir it into pasta sauce at dinner for extra creaminess and nutrition. One of my favorite tricks is using ricotta as a substitute for mayonnaise in chicken salad. You get more protein, less sodium, and a flavor that's actually more interesting than regular mayo. Number 2. Cottage cheese, the gentle giant. Moving up to cottage cheese, a humble cheese that might remind you of those diet crazes from the 70s. But trust me, This isn't about counting calories. Cottage cheese is like the reliable friend who's always been there, but never got the recognition they deserved. Just half a cup of this humble cheese delivers 14 grams of high-quality protein. That's more protein per calorie than almost any other food in your refrigerator. But here's what makes cottage cheese truly special for our generation. Remember how your grandmother used to say that good things come to those who wait? Cottage cheese contains something called casein protein, which works exactly like that old wisdom. Instead of rushing into your system like a sugar high, casein releases amino acids slowly and steadily for up to 8 hours. It's like having a time-release vitamin for your muscles. This makes cottage cheese perfect for what I call the Lucy strategy. Remember how Lucy Ricardo was always planning ahead? If you eat cottage cheese before bed, your body gets a steady supply of muscle-building nutrients all night long. While you're sleeping, your muscles are getting the materials they need to rebuild and repair. The texture that some people find challenging can actually work in your favor. If chewing has become difficult, you can blend cottage cheese into smoothies where it disappears completely. Mix it with a banana and some honey, and you've got something that tastes like a milkshake but works like medicine for your muscles. Try this tomorrow morning. Take half a cup of cottage cheese, mix it with fresh berries and a drizzle of honey. You've just created a breakfast that delivers more muscle-building power than most protein shakes, and it tastes like something you'd actually want to eat. Number 1. Parmesan cheese. The concentrated powerhouse. And now we reach number 1. The most remarkable cheese of all for muscle building after 60. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano, or as we commonly call it, Parmesan cheese. This isn't the stuff in the green shaker container. I'm talking about real, aged Parmesan that's been carefully crafted for at least 24 months. Here's what makes Parmesan extraordinary. It's like the difference between a regular radio and a transistor radio from the 60s. Same basic function, but one is incredibly more concentrated and efficient. Just 1 ounce of authentic Parmesan, about the size of your thumb, contains over 10 grams of complete protein. That makes it one of the most protein-dense foods on Earth. But the aging process creates something even more remarkable. During those 24 months of aging, natural enzymes break down the proteins into smaller, easier-to-digest pieces. It's like the cheese has been pre-chewed for you at the molecular level. This is crucial for those of us whose digestive systems aren't quite as enthusiastic as they were when we were watching Doris Day movies. The long aging process also eliminates virtually all lactose. So even if milk gives you trouble these days, you can probably enjoy authentic Parmesan without any problems. Plus, Parmesan delivers 331 milligrams of calcium per ounce. That's about 25% of your daily needs. Your muscles need calcium for every single contraction. Without enough calcium, it doesn't matter how much protein you eat. Your muscles simply can't function properly. Now, I know authentic Parmesan can be expensive, but think about it this way. Because it's so concentrated, you need very little. 1 ounce goes a long way when you're grating it fresh, and the flavor is so rich and satisfying that a small amount feels like a lot. Buy a small wedge, keep it wrapped in your refrigerator, and grate it fresh over whatever you're eating. Scrambled eggs with fresh Parmesan for breakfast gives you over 20 grams of protein. A simple salad with grated Parmesan becomes a muscle-building meal. Even a bowl of soup transforms into something special and nutritious. Look for wheels marked with those distinctive dots around the rind. That's your guarantee of authenticity. It's an investment in your future strength and independence. Now, before you rush out to buy these 3 cheeses, let's talk about some practical considerations that matter for our generation. First, if you've been dealing with lactose intolerance, and many of us develop this as we age, you'll be happy to know these cheeses are generally much easier on your system than regular milk. Aged Parmesan contains virtually no lactose after its long aging process. Cottage cheese and ricotta do contain some lactose, but much less than milk. If dairy has been giving you trouble, Start with small portions and see how you feel. You can also try taking those lactose enzyme tablets before eating cheese. They're available at any pharmacy. For those watching blood pressure, pay attention to sodium content. Cottage cheese brands vary widely. Some have over 400 milligrams of sodium per half cup, while others have less than 100. Always check the label and choose low-sodium versions when available. Ricotta is naturally lower in sodium, making it a good choice if you're being careful. Parmesan is higher in sodium due to its aging process, but remember, you're using much smaller amounts. If you're taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, here's something important. Maintain consistent cheese intake from day to day. Cheese contains vitamin K, which can affect these medications if your intake varies dramatically. The solution isn't to avoid cheese, but to eat it consistently and let your doctor know you're including it in your daily routine. For anyone dealing with kidney issues, high protein intake can be problematic. If you have any kidney concerns, please talk to your doctor before significantly increasing your protein intake through cheese or any other source. And if you're managing diabetes, these cheeses can actually be helpful because they're low in carbohydrates and help stabilize blood sugar. But always monitor your levels and work with your healthcare team. The beauty of these 3 cheeses is that they're real foods, not supplements. They're gentle on your system, familiar to your palate, and easy to incorporate into meals you already enjoy. Start slowly, pay attention to how you feel, and adjust portions based on your individual needs and preferences. Let me give you a simple, week-by-week plan to start incorporating these muscle-building cheeses into your routine. Think of this like planting a garden. You don't plant everything at once, but you build success gradually. Week 1. The Ricotta Foundation. Start your first week by adding ricotta cheese to your breakfast or lunch routine. Begin with just a couple tablespoons as a spread or mixed into other foods. Try it on toast with honey, stirred into soup for extra creaminess, or as a substitute for mayonnaise. This gives your digestive system time to adjust while you discover the preparations you enjoy most. Week 2. Adding the steady support. Now introduce cottage cheese to your breakfast routine. Start with just a quarter cup mixed with fruit or honey. Try it different ways, mixed with berries, spread on toast, or blend it into a smoothie. Find the preparation that makes you look forward to eating it. Week 3. The Parmesan Power-Up. This is when you add authentic Parmesan to your dinner routine. Buy a small wedge and grate it fresh over whatever you're having. Even a simple bowl of pasta becomes a muscle-building meal with fresh Parmesan. Remember, a little goes a long way with this concentrated powerhouse. Week 4 and beyond. The full system. By week 4, you should be eating all 3 cheeses daily. A typical day might look like this: cottage cheese with fruit for breakfast, ricotta in your lunch, and fresh Parmesan with dinner. This combination gives you about 35 to 40 grams of high-quality protein from cheese alone, roughly half your daily protein needs. I'll give you now some shopping tips for success. When you go to the store, look for cottage cheese with the lowest sodium content. For ricotta, choose whole milk varieties for maximum protein and satisfaction. For Parmesan, invest in authentic Parmigiano Reggiano, marked with those distinctive dots. It costs more upfront, but you'll use less because the flavor is so much more satisfying. Keep a simple journal for the first month. Note which cheeses you ate, how much and when. After 2 weeks, start paying attention to changes in your energy levels or how daily activities feel. Many people notice improvements in as little as 30 days. Things like getting up from chairs feeling easier or having more energy for activities they enjoy. The key is consistency. These cheeses need to become part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth or reading the morning paper. As we wrap up, I want you to know that you're not on this journey alone. Every day, I hear from viewers who've discovered the power of these 3 simple cheeses. Last week, Margaret from Ohio wrote to tell me she's carrying her own groceries for the first time in 2 years. Robert from Texas says he's back to working in his garden without feeling exhausted afterward. These aren't isolated success stories. They're becoming the norm for people who consistently use these muscle-building strategies. The beautiful thing about this approach is its simplicity. You don't need expensive equipment, complicated meal plans, or dramatic lifestyle changes. You're just adding 3 delicious natural foods to meals you're already eating. Your muscles are ready and waiting for the nutrients they need to rebuild and grow stronger. They've been patient, but they haven't given up on you. With cottage cheese, ricotta, and authentic Parmesan on your side, you have everything you need to start reclaiming the strength and independence you thought might be slipping away. If this information has been helpful, please subscribe to join our community of seniors who are choosing strength and vitality. And I'd love to hear about your experience. Which of these 3 cheeses are you most excited to try? Your future self will thank you for taking this first step today.